And we're live.
Ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay, Ducky. All right, folks, tonight we are doing a read-in in protest of the family separation and child detainment that is scheduled to happen at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. We are paying attention to what We Stories is doing right now, and we decided we were going to go ahead and join them in the read-in. And so here's the statement. All right. Tonight we're joining We Stories community by reading a couple of family favorite books to demonstrate our support for Heartland for Human Justice. Tomorrow, over 100 people from St. Louis will join others from around the country for a vigil at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, a former Japanese internment camp, which is being opened as a detention center for migrant children. Those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. Separating children from their parents and failing to provide food and decent shelter and medical care, it is inhumane. We stand with Heartland for Human Justice and their demands, and they are as follows. Stop separating families. Separating children from their parents causes undue trauma. Reunite the families that have been separated. Treat migrants as humans with dignity and care. Provide safe living conditions for those who are in U.S. custody, and allow people to seek liberty in our country. All right, you can become a part of this movement too, and We Stories and Heartland for Human Justice encourages you to start these conversations with your family. All right.
We'll put a link in the comments below after we're done reading.
All right.
So you can follow, okay? All right.
So now for a couple of stories.
All right. So the story that I wanted to read is not specifically about immigrants, but it is a family favorite, one of my personal favorites. It's The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig, and I used to read it when Wynn and Micah were little, and I read it with students even now. And I think it speaks, it's written by Eugene Trivius, and Helen Oxbury is the illustrator. I think it speaks to why, or not why, but it speaks to the fear that is motivating our response, our inhumane response to immigrants right now at the border. And I just think it is a beautiful tale. The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. So I'm not sure how to read this so y'all can see the pictures. I don't know. Can you see the pictures a little bit? Once upon a time, there were three cuddly little wolves with soft fur and fluffy tails who lived with their mother. The first was black, the second was gray, and the third was white. And one day the mother called the three little wolves around her and she said, "My children, it's time for you to go out into the world. Go and build a house for yourselves, but beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mother. We will watch out for him," said the three little wolves, and they set off. Soon they met a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of red and yellow bricks. "Please, will you give us some of your bricks?" asked the three little wolves. "Oh, certainly," said the kangaroo, and she gave them lots of red and yellow bricks. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of bricks. The next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road, and he saw the house of bricks that the little wolves had built. The three little wolves were playing croquet in the garden, and when they saw the big bad pig coming, they ran inside and they locked the door. The pig knocked on the door and he grunted, "Little wolves, let me come in." "No, no, no, no," said the three little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapots." "Well, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down, said the pig. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and he fetched his sledgehammer, and he knocked down the house. The three little wolves only just managed to escape before the bricks crumbled, and they were very frightened indeed. We shall have to build a stronger house, they said. Just then they saw a beaver who was mixing concrete in a concrete mixer. And they said, please, will you give us some of your concrete? Well, certainly, said the beaver, and he gave them buckets and buckets full of messy, slurry concrete, and so the three little wolves built themselves a house of concrete. Now, no sooner had they finished than the big, bad pig came prowling down the road, saw the house of concrete that the little wolves had built, and they were playing battledore and shuttlecock in the garden when they saw the big, bad pig coming, and they ran inside their house, and they shut the door. And the pig rang the bell, and he said, little frightened wolves, let me come in. No, 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 said the three little wolves. By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down, said the pig. So he huffed, and he puffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and he fetched his pneumatic drill, and he smashed down that house. And the three little wolves managed to escape, but their chinny chin chins were trembling, trembling, trembling. We shall build an even stronger house, they said, because they were determined. Just then they saw a truck coming down the road carrying barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. Please, will you give us some of your barbed wire, a few iron bars, armor plates, some heavy metal padlocks? They said to the rhinoceros who was driving the truck. And the rhinoceros said sure, and he gave them plenty of barbed wire, iron bars, armor plates, and heavy metal padlocks. He also gave them some plexiglass and some reinforced steel chains, because he was a generous and a kind-hearted rhinoceros. So the three little wolves built themselves an extremely strong house. It was the strongest, securest one they could possibly imagine, and they felt absolutely safe. The next day, the big, bad pig came prowling along the road as usual, and the three little wolves were playing hopscotch in the garden when they saw the big, bad pig coming. They ran inside their house, they bolted the door, they locked all 37 padlocks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, little frightened wolves with the trembling chins, let me come in. No, 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 no. They said, by all the hair on our chinny chin chins, no, we will not let you in. Well, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll puff and I'll huff and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, but the house didn't fall down. But the pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He brought some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit the fuse, and the house blew up. The three little wolves just managed to escape with their fluffy tails scorched. Something must be wrong with our building materials, they said. We have to try something different. But what? And at that moment they saw a flamingo coming down the road pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. Please, will you give us some flowers? Said the little wolves. Oh, with pleasure, said the flamingo. And he gave them lots of flowers. So the three little wolves built themselves a house of flowers. One was a wall of marigolds, one daffodils, one pink roses, one cherry blossoms. The ceiling was made of sunflowers, and the floor was a carpet of daisies. They had water lilies in their bathtub, buttercups in their refrigerator. It was a rather fragile house, and it swayed in the wind, but it was beautiful. And the next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road, and he saw the house of flowers that the little wolves had built, and he rang the blue bell at the door, and he said, "Little frightened wolves with trembling chins and scorched tails, let me come in." "No, no, 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 no," said the 3 little wolves. "By the hair on our chinny chin chins, we will not let you in, not for all the tea leaves in our china teapot." "Well, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the pig. But as he took a breath, ready to huff and puff, he smelled the soft scent of the flowers, and it was fantastic. And because the scent was so lovely, the pig took another breath and another, and instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper until he was quite filled with the fragrant scent. His heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he'd been. Right then, he decided to become a big, good pig, and he started to sing and to dance the tarantella. At first, the 3 little wolves were a bit worried it might be a trick, but soon they realized that the pig had truly changed, so they came running out of the house. They started playing games with him. First, they played Pig Pog, and then they played Piggy in the Middle, and when they were all tired, they invited him into the house. They offered him tea and strawberries and wolfberries, and they asked him to stay with them as long as he wanted. The pig accepted, and they all lived happily ever after together. As I read that story every time, I wonder not about the big bad pig. I think that's a characterization that's not helpful, but I always wonder about what's going on with the little wolves that they think they can be protected with bigger, badder houses, you know? And I read this story and I think about the whole debate about the wall and how big we can make it and how strong we can make it. And I wonder how different it would be if we built walls of flowers. So I hope we learn. Walls of flowers.
All right, now for my book, I'll be reading A is for Activist by Inosanto Noguera. And this is a bit of a family favorite too. Inside it reads that it's dedicated to Arif Romero and his mama Christy. All right, A is for Activist. A is for Advocate, Abolitionist, Ally, actively answering a call to action. Are you an activist? B. B is for Banner, bobbing in the sky, blowing in the breeze, 'cause you're not shy. C is for Co-op, cooperating cultures, creative counter to corporate vultures. Oh, and cats. Can you find the cats? D. Little d, democracy. More than voting, you'll agree. Dictators detest it, donkeys don't get it, but you and me, we demand equality. E. Equal rights. Black, brown, or white. Clean and healthy is a right. Every place we live and play, environmental justice is the way. F is for feminist, for fairness in our pay, for freedom to flourish and to choose our own way. G is for grassroots, sprouting from below, sharing nutrients and the water's flow. Below the surface, we're all connected. Stronger together, we grow. H is for healthy food, a human right. Honeydew, jicama, nature's delight. Hummus, hot dogs, Havarti cheese. Hot dogs, yes, healthy hot dogs. And pizza. I, indigenous and immigrant, together we stand tall. Our histories are relevant. An injury to one is an injury to all. J is for justice. Yay for justice. Yin Yin Yang, Juanita, Jamal, justice for the janitors, justice for all. K. Kings are fine for story time, knights are fun to play. But when we make decisions, we'll choose the people's way. L. L is for LGBTQ. Love who you choose, 'cause love is true. Liberate your notions of limited emotions. Celebrate with pride our links of devotion. M. Megaphones marching. Movimento music. Hip hop hooray. It must be May Day. N is for no. No, no, no. Yes to what we want, and no to what must go. No, no, no. O. Open minds operate best, critical thinking over tests. Wisdom can't be memorized. Educate, agitate, organize. P. Peace march. Protest. Power to the people. Yeah. Q is for question. Questioning coercion, querying qualities, countering false assertions. R. Radical Reds, the headline said. Ruinous rioters, the rumors spread. Rabble-rousing riffraff. Really? S is for sun, soul, soldier, solar, solar. Superstar, stellar power, fuels all life, not just flowers. Energized as homes, cars, and showers. Silly, selfish scoundrels sucking on dinosaur sludge. Boo, hiss. That's cute. T is for trans, for trains, for tiaras, tulips, tractors, and tigers too. Trust in the true. The he, she, they, that's you. U is for weekends. U is for workers' rights. Wait, that's not U. That's W. U is for union. Union, yes. I just read it. V is for Vox. What did you say? Fox? No, I said Vox. Did you say box? No, Vox. Did you say socks, rocks, blocks? Vox. Vox of the people. Voice of the populi. Better go see the letter D. W. Wondrous world. Wondrous we. We cannot be whole. We cannot be free unless we delight in diversity. X. X is for Malcolm, as in Malcolm X. History's lesson can be complex. Remember Parks, remember King, remember Malcolm, and let freedom ring. Y is for you and youth. Your planet, your rights, your future, your truth. Y is for yes, yes. And Z. Z is for Zapatista, of course.
Thank you all for listening. We are reading tonight the read-in for the kids in Oklahoma and that are being held at Fort Sill. Reading in solidarity with the folks who are traveling and protesting there tonight and tomorrow, and we send our good energy and our commitment.
And we'll connect their statement and the demands with our videos. Thank you so much.